The Phillies, who entered today with the best record in baseball. Hugh, another good weekend. Look, they swept the Rockies. Look, the A's aren't good, but they're obviously better than the Rockies. I didn't go into this weekend needing a sweep, but I needed 2 out of 3, and they did it. Good win Friday, crazy game Saturday. Sunday, they almost took it, but look, 2 out of 3 and winning 6 out of 7 on the road, that's a darn good trip.
Yeah, no question about it. I'll tell you what, man. They're playing well. They're exactly where they were last year around this time.
Yep.
I mean, they've been in the last couple of years around this time. So, yeah, they're on pace to do what they're supposed to do.
Well, they're playing really good baseball right now. And look, we've talked a lot about the different parts of this team, the weakness, the bullpen, the strength, the starting rotation, some of the ups, the downs of the offensive guys. Trey's having himself, right now looks like it's maybe his best year as a Philly so far. Schwarber's having a great season. Harper's come on in recent weeks. That's all great. But I feel like there's someone, and we even gave credit, we tried to at least, you didn't want to, but we tried to apologize a few weeks ago to Dave Dombrowski. I feel like we've hit a lot of the buttons here on the people that are responsible for the Phillies having the best record in baseball. Except it feels like, at least on this show, one person has not been talked about a lot. And he doesn't get talked about a lot when things are good. It's only when things are bad that he gets brought up a lot. But I want to talk about Rob Thomson because I think he deserves more credit for where the Phillies are right now and the season they're having. I think Rob Thomson is doing an excellent job with this team because I don't think they are best record in baseball roster, wise. Like, I don't look at their roster and say, oh, they should clearly be the best team in baseball. I saw holes when the season started. I think a lot of people did. The bullpen has been a hole the entire season. And they've got a manager right now who is running 2 different lineups. Like, think about the reaction of that at the end of spring training when Topper said, we're going to do 2 different lineups. We called it a hedge. We said pick one. People got annoyed. It's worked. He's gotten the best out of Trey Turner by batting him leadoff against lefties. He's gotten a lot out of Stott by protecting him and putting him leadoff against righties. I think Topper has done a really good job this season. He has a bullpen he can only trust 2 or 3 guys. Aaron Nola was terrible to start the season. Harper didn't hit for a month and a half. And yet he's got the team with the best record in all of baseball. Hugh, I'll say it. I think Rob Thomson deserves more credit than he's getting here for the start this season. What do you think?
No.
What?
He get credit for doing his job. I don't understand how y'all sit here every week and y'all look at somebody that's supposed to be doing their job, that's doing their job. Say, oh, well, he needs an apology. He don't need no damn apology.
No one said apology to Topper.
Or credit for doing what?
Well, he's doing a better job than I think people give him credit for.
He's doing the job that he has been paid to do.
Sure, but he's doing it well, really well right now. How many teams in baseball would have this record with a bullpen that is this bad and your best hitter not doing much for the first month and a half? Not many.
He's been hovering around this part, or he's been in this arena for a while now. He's been, like I gave you some stats last week about how they've been here the last 3 seasons with Topper at the helm. So to me, Topper's doing exactly what he does all the time around this time of year. You know what Topper needs to do? Close this thing out. There's no pressure. I like Topper. I like him a lot. But for you to sit here and say or ask me to give him more credit for doing his job,
especially you.
Hell
of
no.
all the people I know, you're the one I'm talking to the most.
We have been here before. This is not the problem that this team has, the regular season. It's not. It's the postseason.
I understand that, but every regular season is different. This team has flaws. I mean, this bullpen.
No question.
We saw it this weekend. Even winning 2 out of 3, the bullpen almost ruined it.
And they stayed stagnant as far as getting some fresh blood up here.
And that's not Topper's decision, though. That's on Dombrowski.
Okay, with that being said, he's still done a good job of doing his job. So, no, to give him more credit, no.
I think he's done a great job. 215-592-9494. Rob Thomson, does he deserve more credit than we're giving him? The guy has the best record in baseball with a team that I view very flawed. Like, I don't look at the Phillies as a 100-win team. Not on paper. They have a lot of holes. Their bullpen stinks. Aaron Nola, who we were supposed to count on, stunk and had to go on the IL, unfortunately. We don't know when he's going to come back. They have a team that has 3 or 4 guys in the lineup every day. He's got to shuffle. He's got platoons at second, platoons in left, platoon in center. His third baseman, Alec Boehm, was so bad early. That he's been hot for a month and his numbers still aren't very good. I mean, that's how bad he was early. But they navigated that, and they have the best record in all of baseball. I want to play this for you. Topper talking a couple weeks ago about Trey Turner. Trey is having what I would say is his best season as a Philly so far. He has hit the ball well the entire year. He has played better defense, not great, but better defense. He's run better. I just think we're getting the best version we've had in Philadelphia of Trey Turner. And how about the credit I'm going to give Topper for that? Because Topper's the one that said, hey, let's change your approach. Let's do it this way. Here's Topper talking about Trey a couple weeks ago.
You got a guy like Trey going like he's going. He's got 20 hits in his last 12 games. 18 of them are singles. Do you basically sit there and go, good enough, don't change a thing that you're doing? Or the fact that there's not as much slug there is like, I'd still like to get some of that too.
At the start of the season, Trey and I had a talk, and I said, I don't care about home runs. We got plenty of guys that can do that. I want you to get on base. 380's the goal. I want you to steal base. I want you to get 40. I want you to score 100 runs. If he does that, I don't care about anything else.
And it's worked. I mean, I don't think that's easy to get buy-in from a player that has a $300 million contract. He asked him to be a different hitter, and he's been a different hitter. He's put the bat on the ball. He's gotten more singles. Now, a little more home runs this past weekend, but for the most part, Trey hasn't slugged. He's not on pace at 30 home runs the way we know he could be a 25, 30 home run guy. Topper asked him to do something. He's done it. I can't believe we got Hugh over here refusing to give credit to Rob Thomson for the season he's having. This is Manager of the Year kind of stuff.
No, you're saying I don't refuse to give him credit. I'm just not giving him credit for doing his job.
But
you're asking me to give him more credit for doing his job.
They're playing better than the roster.
This is out of necessity. They put him in a really a no-win situation if you look at it. And he's thrived in that situation. Like they say, sometimes, what is it? Pressure either bust I can't even say it right. Pressure either bust pipes or creates diamonds.
It's
hard coming to work on a Tuesday after a 3-day weekend.
We have diamonds in the dugout.
No, but that was out of necessity. They went into this season. I look at it like this, saying, okay, we have enough to win with, correct? Mm-hmm. You just need to figure out to push the right buttons because you have enough to win with. And like I said, when you look at their track record, they're not in unfamiliar territory. Now, if they were in unfamiliar territory, I would agree with you.
But this roster I view as worse than last year's. I think it's worse.
I feel like
the bullpen is clearly worse than last year.
Okay, I give you that, but he's coaching out of necessity because he doesn't have a new contract, if I'm not mistaken. He got 1 year left on his deal?
Well, they keep adding the 1 year.
Yeah, they got 1 year left on his deal. And you have an older team that's looming over your head that they're going to break this thing up if you don't get it done.
Well, that's for sure. 215-592-9494. Does Rob Thomson deserve more credit? The Phillies, we always talk about Memorial Day as that kind of that moment you look at the standings. Well, yesterday was Memorial Day. The Phillies have the best record in baseball, and I think Topper is a huge reason why. Back in spring training, before the season started, I said, I'm putting him on the hot seat. I need him to perform really well this season. Otherwise, he's not going to be the long-term manager. I need him to do a good job this year. And I think he's done a really nice job. And I understand your point, Hugh. It's about what he does in October. But so far, I just feel like if you give most managers this bullpen, they're not having a record this good. This he can only trust like 3 guys down there to the point where he's had to push his starters. He's trying to avoid using his guys.
Yeah, and then you talk about what happened a couple weeks ago.
Alvarado. Yes.
Yeah, I get that. But again, we've been here before. And I am not giving him any quarter for being in the same position. Basically, if you look at the stat sheet that he was in last year.
I know, but like Sirianni we gave some credit to last year. He had been there before.
It's a little different.
Why?
Well, because
he had been there before.
Bubblehead coach cut his hair.
I don't give a shit.
And it was rocky. It was a real rocky start for the Eagles.
I could say the Phillies thing was rocky.
Yeah, but again, with the sampling size being what it is, they're still in the same sweet spot that they were in last year, give or take a few games.
They are. They're very close to where they were last year. 215-592-9494. That is how you hop aboard. As we reset on a Tuesday post-Memorial Day, and the Phillies have the best record in all of baseball. Kyle, what are you feeling on Topper as he has guided the Phillies into first place?
Well, he definitely deserves more credit. I was one of the people saying Dave Dombrowski deserves more credit too, but I would tend to agree that I don't think the roster is better than it was last season, and I feel like we talk out of both sides of our mouth if we say, well, Dombrowski didn't do enough this offseason, but Topper's doing what he's supposed to. If he has him at the same spot that he does last season with the worst roster and a GM who didn't give him anything, quote-unquote, this offseason, then he's doing a damn good job, and he didn't even have to have his Britney Spears moment to get this team to buy into what I think is...
Bryce had his
Topper's hair is too nice to shave.
Right.
You can't do that.
But I'm sort of equating what's going on this season, at least with this offense, to what Nick Sirianni did at the bye week that we gave him tons of credit for. which he deserved, which was getting some of the big personalities on this team, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, namely. I guess Devontae's not a big personality, but you get where I'm coming from. Guys that want the ball to sort of take a step back and say, you know what, like, if this is what it takes to win, then I'll do it. I mean, the Phillies put this on the players. You have to change your approach, trying to teach some old dogs new tricks. I mean, you know Bryce Harper wants to mash the ball out of the ballpark. Castellanos wants to just go up there and hit and not take walks. And the entire offense seems like they've changed their approach. They're moving runners over. Topper's doing double steals. They're getting sack flies, just hitting the ball out to the outfield so they can get a run in. Like, Topper's kind of stealing runs in some of these games. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for doing that. And, I mean, we know the bullpen's the weakest part of this team, but, and we'll see how this affects the team later on in the season, but, I mean, he's doing the right thing and stretching out the starters the most that he possibly can to get these wins because he knows that the bullpen is not that deep. I think all in all, Topper's doing a fantastic job, and it's time people start recognizing.
If you gave me a ballot right now and said, write down a few names for Manager of the Year in the National League, Rob Thomson's on my ballot. I mean, this team, to where they are right now, considering the issues they have, and we went over them. Bryce Harper didn't do much for the first month. Alec Boehm was so bad the first month that he's been hot for a month, and his numbers still aren't great for the season. That's how bad he was. And Kyle talked about the idea that Topper, to get these guys to buy in, to change. I mean, the Phillies are, I don't know how you say this, top 10, bottom 10 in strikeouts. I mean, in terms of strikeouts as a team, they have the 9th fewest strikeouts in baseball. That's pretty darn good considering we know what, I mean, how many times they strike out opening day? 19? Yeah. They're probably like bottom 5 in baseball since then in strikeouts. I freaked out. Yeah, that was a big freak out day. Yeah, it's all right. Listen, since then, they
enough was enough.
Overreacting much.
Well, it was a tough day. But since then, they haven't struck out much at all. 215-592-9494. And the last thing I'll say is, how about the buy-in from Schwarber? Right, he moved him off the leadoff spot. That was Schwarber's spot.
But that was kind of like from day one he was that guy, though.
No, not. Whoa, what do you mean? They
won that Schwarber kind of like he bought in. It felt like he bought into it since he was asked.
But we don't give the manager credit for that conversation.
But I think that's just his demeanor. The other cat's not so much.
You just don't want to give Topper any credit.
No, I mean I'm giving him his credit. I'm giving him credit for being in the same spot that you were in last year. How are we going to finish this thing out?
No, what about just the two lineups anyway?
Yeah, right.
And the fact that the one guy who's the leadoff hitter is basically still kind of being platooned.
Yeah,
out of necessity.
With Sosa. Well, but
everyone disagreed with it.
But we would kill Topper if it was a necessity and he wasn't doing it.
I just the problem is you didn't take the pledge.
No, I did take the pledge.
We all feel it this morning.
But it's I took the pledge. But let's be honest, we're in a comfortable spot. We've been here before, correct?
Yeah.
What is our biggest issue? Is the postseason.
Yes, I understand that.
I'm not. This is not me saying I'm waiting for the postseason.
But this is pledge stuff.
This is me with my arms folded talking about that's great.
It's pledge.
I'm not giving you any more credit.
That means you didn't take the pledge.
Well, they can't win in the postseason in May.
They got to get there first.
No, I mean they're in the same spot that they were in last year. I give them credit for that.
In a more challenging
you are
National
doing
League.
a wonderful job in being exactly where you were last year.
Yeah, but the bullpen is worse than it was last year. And the one thing we thought was like turnkey with this team was Schwarber leadoff. And he said, you know what, I'm changing it. And it worked. Schwarber's had the best year of his Phillies career so far. At least he's on pace to. We haven't even got to June yet. And Schwarber's got, 18 home runs?
Won't be long now.
It won't be long till June now. I mean, that's right. I think Topper's done an outstanding job to start the season. 215-592-9494. Where do you come down? Does Rob Thomson deserve more credit as the Phillies enter the day after Memorial Day with the best record in baseball